Force win right here. That's it. This tournament is over, and one of them is walking away with $500,000.
Hey man, I caught Coach Pecco for Enigma Galaxy on the walk over to the caster booth just now, and he was saying, I asked him, hey, you gonna target? And he was like, if we know it's them, things might get a little bit nicer. Hey, you know, I can't say. But yeah, I feel like that is the sort of situation where teams who are certainly below those top two will really hard commit if they find one of these teams in a fight. The third-party targeting will definitely be high on the menu for a lot of these teams.
It has to be. It really does. I got a chance to talk to Knight, as a matter of fact, the coach from Furia, and because in Brazil, these guys have had so much practice when it comes to the Smash ruling. Furia themselves have smashed in multiple of their regional tournaments. So I was talking to them, I was like, hey, exactly the same question, right? If you see a couple teams in the Smash zone, will you guys go out of your way to take them out? And they said, well, at a certain point, we have to. You know what I'm saying? We know what's at stake. If we have to risk a bad game to ensure that we can continue in this tournament to possibly come back, we're going to do it, right? So even if it's a crash and we
it's not going to be enough. I don't see them catching up when we've already got two teams in that Smash zone. It is a bit unfortunate. It is not great, but they can look pretty good in game. We know that. And one of the ways that you can look good in game at home is with the Naruto skins. Make sure you're heading into game to pick up the character sets, the Ninetales Fury Org, and you can look as good as anyone taking on those ninja challenges.
Yeah, get that ninjutsu going. And honestly, yeah, it seems like Aura, OG, they're going to need to bust some of that out if they want to be able to make a crazy run for it. Mathematically, it is still possible, right? If Aura, they start with 3, they're going to need a 20-point game here, a 20-point game in the next one, and maybe even another one after that.
It's triple back-to-back.
It's triple back-to-backs, you know what I'm saying? We still have enough games to do it. It's just going to be tough, especially considering that you got there's going to be quite a few teams in that Smash zone very, very quickly here. That's if this game even continues on after this one. So a lot of different factors to play out. The problem also is the fact that we get later and later into this tournament, the desperation is going to raise tremendously, right? So these teams in the mid-pack are going to even start playing hyper-aggressive because they're going to know, right? Their coaches are going to tell them, hey, man, look, you made it all the way over here to Paris, all right? You either get 20 points or this was all for nothing at a certain point, right?
Well, that's, I mean, there's still placements on the line and all of that sort of thing. I'm just looking at the map at the moment, and I'm seeing that Nongshim Red Force might be in with their first fight in a moment, which is going to enlighten the rest of the lobby as to sort of where they're playing, what sort of conflicts they could be running into. A 2-2 split.
North George, Aura still in Severny, and you got Vitality going on the other bridge here, so they're going to be super late in the circle as well.
Yeah, Vitality's still on the West Bridge. I don't like it. I think this is way too long. You're overcommitting. No one's turned up. Not too sure what the game plan was there for Vitality. It's not the same team we saw from their stages.
Sad.
So unfortunate.
It's the same thing we saw in PMGO too.
Yeah, it's a big drop-off, which I'm sad to see. Enigma Galaxy, they get their back duo caught up in a regroup, and this is exactly what I was worried about. It's only going to be Lord. His vehicle's on fire, and he goes down because he hops out. As it's on fire, they lose their back too. I guess, yeah, Ralph, keep doing that. See how that works out for you.
Yeah, I saw his player cam, and I could see he said, what the heck? You know, what happened? How is this?
Why are there players here in the middle of the circle?
How did I get knocked?
What? Oh, that's crazy.
That's super unfortunate. The 2-2 split, man. I mean, losing players like that is so rough. We'll see how it all continues on, though. That's if we have another match after this, because Nongshim Red Force are on the south side of Milta, full squad, looking dangerous. On the other end, you got the other Titans of the lobby, E-Arena, holding down the north side. So both these teams able to secure position as a full 4-man team.
A vice grip on the circle right now, and our teams will look to try and slip that. This is a replay on Lord getting knocked. You can see he drove up. It was actually the hop out that got him. He'd already taken enough damage and hadn't slowed down enough. He hopped out of the vehicle, kept that momentum, and it was the fall. He hit that ground a little bit too fast.
The ankles.
Just rolled the ankle, man. Rolled the ankle. And now Coops and Satan have to do it all on their loans. And it's a bad time. It's a bad time. I feel like it may have worked before. teams maybe weren't necessarily expecting something like that, and they weren't looking for a duo to be rotating in such an early fashion, especially because they know, oh, well, these players haven't lost, so it should be a full four come from there. But there's been enough games now when Enigma Galaxy have done this that teams should be like, oh yeah, that's what they do. Let's just clamp down on that.
You know, it's one of those strategies that I don't know whether to be, it's just one of those strats that's just like, okay, it's different, you know what I'm saying?
Sit sort of in front of them is viable, but it can be very difficult to hold against teams up on the north, especially if you get crashed. Multiple angles can crash onto it as well, so a little bit tenuous when you have to leave that ridgeline for Team Flash. For Nongshim, they're going to play nice and isolated on the southeast side. Remember, it's not big point scoring games that are necessary. That's not what's going to be weighing on the mind of Nongshim, of E-Arena. It is just that chicken dinner. Be the last player standing. That's the only thing that should be running through their mind right now to try and secure that tournament title, the global stage glory.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. And I hope it doesn't change their play style, because I'm thinking back to PMMI where Tianba had such a massive lead, and they kind of implored that same strategy. Like, hey, let's just put up some basic points. They had so many points, as long as nobody smashed, they were going to win it for the most part. But they changed play styles, and they paid the price for it big time, going from what we thought was going to be an automatic first to like third place. So yeah, we'll see how Nongshim, who definitely learned from that, if they're going to replicate it or play the game that got them here in the first place.
Four Thrives in that last match were able to ignite those afterburners, send them into the stratosphere on the point scoring. And now Four Thrives want to keep that pace, but they're kind of cut out on this northwest edge. They are boxed in by that prison cliff area on the east side of them. They're gonna have to pick a direction and commit. Towards Vitality may be a good idea to start, but you've got Godlike behind that, and maybe Ulf on the top, on the lip of those prison cliffs could be a target as well. But either way, it feels like a third-party target.
I can't lie, I'm so hyped for Godlike right now. After seeing that Rondo match, they put up so many points. If they would have won that fight with E-Arena, they would have, who knows where they'd be on the leaderboards here. But they put themselves in a good position. They're still in 10th place, 72 points. They're going to go for the back-to-back chicken dinner. They realize that, like, hey, we got to get it done here. If they do, it would be the comeback of a lifetime. You know that their fans are excited. They're hyped up.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting for this next zone. And it's going to go on over to the northeast side. And which team gets blessed here, John?
Team Flash, right? E-Arena on the north side, on that road down from Lipovka. It helps them out. I wouldn't say blessed, though. I feel like they are still in a little bit of a dangerous position, especially with Horror descending on them. Look at that eastern sweep. That could be dangerous. That could be trouble. There's Coop Stakes a knock in the meantime as well on the south side, bleeding out another player. Not good news. But Horror, look at a crash maybe towards E-Arena. I do think it is Team Flash that has been the most blessed by this zone, though. On that northeast side, it's exactly what you highlighted, right? That ridge line, the buildings in front of it, really, really good. But only if it goes out their way. Well, guess what? Here we are. And now S2G try and push in. They're being denied access. As Horror clash with Four Thrives, who have, okay, they've lapped over the north side of prison, and they're third-partying on the rotate here on the north.
Fights happening all over the place. Now we're going to be looking at Enigma Galaxy. Satan, all by himself, going to be challenging Al-Ula here as we switch over. Four Thrives get eliminated. That is a huge loss right before the 100-point mark. There goes Enigma Galaxy as well. That's 5th and 6th out.
And now Aurora up, trying to sweep past Nongshim Red Force. As Horror picking up those points is a great result for them. 7 eliminations now on the north side, right next to E-Arena, who take a knock as well. TurdyK has gone down. S2G battling for the middle of it and taking damage from every single angle. Ulf will do a lot of damage to them, but S2G managed to weather that storm. A lot of damage across the board on these rotates, Jukes.
And then here we go. We're going to catch this fight here as S2G are hurt. Vitality very, very close near to them. And it was OG that are putting up some points on the board. They end up getting 1. Kamikaze on the other end. Now finally the fight has calmed down, but this is a battle for the central position in this circle.
I mean, this is another team, S2G, who is within reach of that smash point barrier up to 122, but they have just had the wind taken out their sails. 113 right now. They need to get 9 more points on this match, and with 11 more teams alive as a solo, Kamikaze Has he got something magic up his sleeve? I do not think so. We're just going to leave Aurora to really be the only challengers to that Smash Point duo.
And Aurora are definitely a threat, that's for sure. 110 points, 12 is super easy for them to get in this kind of position. They're gonna have to fight their way through it though. CS Power getting a knock from Godlike. They're down to 2 players, and that is WizGod gonna get that confirmation on 2 Power. Only 1 player up left for Godlike.
Oh, the arena did manage to just roll over to the ridgeline there on the shoreline. But Mormon's been spotted. Okay, Sky is still going. And the arena not safe yet, not out of the woods. As Godlike and Orangutan still continue to clash. Up the stairs, Godlike. Look for it, but the drop down is caught. And there's the crash.
Here it is.
Take one down and the arena fall. Only one team can stop it all now. Longshim with a big opportunity on the south side, but they're right on the edge.
The whole lobby breathing a sigh of relief now that at least one of the Titans is gone. It's still up to Nongshim Red Force though. They're on the south side, playing carefully, waiting in the shadows to strike. It's only a matter of time here. They're going to think, yeah, you guys fight it out. But you better watch out.
Ooh, a big south shift, and Alola are looking tasty for Nongshim. Look, they're already in those vehicles. XZY wanting to keep Overwatch on the angle as well. Maybe take some shots out that way. How fast are Nongshim going to be able to mount up? Because Flash have already regrouped to the triple stack buildings on the north side of this next part of the circle. The west edge with Furia and Orangutan also needs to conclude and try and find a way down the hill. The Deadwood is so hard to navigate, though. There are these really tricky defilades, and there are players lying in wait.
Speaking of lying in wait, yeah, you can see Nongshim Red Force. They don't want to give away their position. They don't want the lobby to know where they're at right now, so they're playing it very, very quietly. So take a look at this replay. Schweppes, popping them out the vehicle, but the crash from Aura, so strong here. And they shut down E-Arena. Huge fight for the whole lobby.
Absolutely. Arena remain on 122 as well. Doesn't mean they can't win it all next match. They are still in the Smash boundary.
Yes, they are.
So even if Nongshim get 30 points and don't win the chicken dinner, they could still take it all away with a 0 E-limit.
Aurora want to put themselves in the Smash zone here now, though.
Oh, yeah.
Here they go. They're going to start pushing, trying to find a position. They got the Wizard Tower. Are they going to take it? Nope, pass it up and decide to go for this hill line here. Good strategy. Got to be careful, though, with those shots from Flash.
Yeah, there's...
Throwing down some smoke. I like how they put one vehicle in front of the other, so they at least sacrificed one, but they should be able to hold on to at least another one here in a second.
They're going to have to pick a point to go, and I feel like sure, Team Flash can be taking shots right now, but the west side is going to have to conclude, and fairly quickly. Someone is going to look to crash Team Flash. I can guarantee you that at some point in this match.
Yeah.
But it may be a little bit longer than we were anticipating. I mean, as I said, the Deadwoods have a lot of those defilades, the hills that slope down from the top of this ridgeline. This tree cover has a lot of rocks to play around. You can sort of stutter your way forwards a little bit, but later on you're going to have to find something. Oh, spot over onto Doc. They know who they're fighting now.
Well, they will once that thirst happens.
There it is.
And there it is. So now they know 100% Nongshim Red Force is right here. Aurora are going to put every single amount of their resources to make sure they can stop them.
It may well be worth it with all the teams around them going down fairly quickly. Just sitting here waiting for Nongshim to roll out, stepping through, sacrificing shots to Team Flash. They may look to try and just block the road, shut the door in the face of a Smash victory here in match number 2 today, match 14 on the series.
To be fair, this is going to be a very tough win for Nongshim to get. They're in a really, really tough spot here. They are on the edge of the circle. That broken wall is covering them for now, but this next zone is going to make things interesting. But here we go with a huge battle. It's Furia versus OG. Furia in 8th place right here. They need the win. Oh, that nade looks good. That should get a confirmation. It doesn't, some way, somehow. Bad nade there, but all of a sudden, they are able to get some knocks. Silence is going to go into the building, eating some blue zone. Furia are getting peppered. Little by little, he gets away with just 1 HP.
Oh, WizGod steps out. He's looking for more. He's got the shotgun shells under the car. The blue zone's ticking, but it's not going to matter. WizGod strikes back against Furia, but now Horror here, and he's got a sliver of HP to play around with. They'll know he's here, and fear rolls over the top of the hill.
Didn't see him.
What? He didn't see him. He should hear that.
Hello.
No! With his back to it. Will take the shots, but not find the knock. And he will be put down. In the meantime, the roller from Nongshim.
And they're off. Here they go. Nongshim Red Force on the rotation, trying to find a spot in this zone. Tires get popped. Team Flash knocked down Tizzy. It's up to the 2 players from Nongshim to end this tournament.
XZY trying to regroup now on the back. The reloads are coming through, and he may be able to sneak his way into the dip. And Aurora now have Nongshim set before them. A gauntlet to run through, and then one that they will charge in headlong. Nades first. Zul, Reefus, and Top wants this retribution. Draw this game to a close without a smash point victory.
Aurora throwing an absolute bombardment onto Nongshim Red Force. They know they're the threat. They're going to use every single piece of utility they have to finish this team off once and for all. Not able to find those other confirmations. Vehicles are getting moved out the way, though. That's the coverage that Nongshim Red Force desperately need. Looks like they're playing a little game of ping pong with that car.
Ooh, but Aurora starting to suffer as well. They have to move forwards, and now they're in the firing line of Team Flash. It may well be enough to stop Nongshim from winning the game, though, and that seems to be what they were trying to bid for. All the while, by the way, Kamikaze is still alive, so can't discount him just yet for getting the points that he may need. It would be a very long road, though. Hyunbin and So Easy now find the final blow, struck to the heart of Aurora, who draw their game out on 113.
No!
They will fall to no smash. Not here, not now.
We're gonna see a game 3, folks. Get excited, get hyped, because now's the chance for a lot of these teams to start pushing their way up the leaderboards.
How far can you go here, though? I mean, for Team Flash, this is a golden opportunity to jump up placement points, to jump up and get a little bit more cash under the belt, be a higher ranking finisher. They have all 4 of their players alive. They're looking pretty chill. As I said before, S2G do have the slimmest of opportunities. For me, it's Kamikaze needing to grab some third-party points off a fight that Team Flash has.
Yeah, he's just trying to sneak it enough points to sneak his team into that smash zone. Any point matters, though. I really got to give some major love, though, to Aura. Look at them. 13 eliminations. This team is trying to make a comeback of a lifetime, and this is how you do it. Got to get this win, though. Anything less is not going to be enough for them to make that race to the top.
I mean, even when you do get it, it's still a long, long road for them to try and find. For Kamikaze, he needs to profit 6 more points on this match. Those can come from either increasing placements or getting eliminations to join that smash point bubble. But this next circle comes in, it's not going to have him in it. It does push Flash into into a few of their locations, but it looks like they've spotted him. Kamikaze is there, they roll up, he's put down, and no longer do we have that storyline. The battle at the bottom of the tables rings true for the final 4 here.
This is huge. Everyone's trying to move up their placement here. Like, again, this is a massive prize pool. Every single placement up is big money in the bank. Aura, though, this is the game of a lifetime for them. This is one of those opportunities that gets your squad excited, gets them pumped up to finally start putting everything on the line. You can see Team Flash, though, they're in the mix here. Aura trying to push from the edge of the circle. They're going to start throwing all their util onto Vitality. That's the threat. If they can hold that rock and secure that position, this could be a solid chicken dinner for them.
Absolutely. A big chance. As the nades keep on going forwards. 13 eliminations on side, and they want to add 2 more to the tally. Sky and Jiggle into the fight. Razak goes down first, immediately putting him out of business, out of action. Sky looks for more as well, and they turn it on. It's just too hot.
Aura are on fire. 15 eliminations, but that game looks dangerous. Gotta watch out. That one hurt, and now it's up to Sky. All by himself. Aula looking to stop the insanity that Aura has put on display here. Here they come. Yasser moving up close and personal to be able to secure this high ground. Team Flash on the other end, putting some suppressive fire onto them as well. Aura just trying to lick their wounds, trying to find their way, but it ain't gonna be enough. That is Aura down to 1 single player.
I like Team Flash's proactivity here. They didn't waste time. They didn't hide in the buildings. They stretched their legs and moved out towards this north side to get control of the zone. This is what we've wanted to see from a lot of our teams, and I'm glad to see it now, even if it is potentially a little bit too little too late. For them, they've got 10 eliminations here, so all right, they're on 15, but there is a real chance that they could catch up. As Sky is still cooking an aid, and Alula are gonna have to worry. Okay, he puts it back to the shotgun shell.
He's not moving a muscle here, and I don't think Alula realizes that he's even still there. They have to know there could be a threat in this area. But Quick is just hopping in the vehicle to get a little bit of extra third-person perspective and get some sightlines. Plus, he's protected in there. He has no idea. They have no idea he's there. Hello! What? He missed the shots, though. Sky gets the knock, but gets shot in the back as Win from Team Flash shuts down Aura's run.
Pretty mighty flub there on the shotgun, hot over the bonnet there. Probably didn't realize that Quick didn't know he was there and thought, oh, well, I'm gonna have to go for the fight. He's gonna stand up for it, right? Right? Not to be. Ooh, a cheeky little pick onto Zeus, and actually, Bose is quite low. Over the top, though, Tops and Win look to put pressure onto Quick, and remember, Alula only really have 2 players to play around with here, Claws and Yasser. Looking to navigate closer to the middle for Yasser, but Flash can regroup on 3. Claws has a lot to face down on his lonesome here on this angle. Needs a big nade, needs to find a knock pretty immediately, and is already taken down. Win steps through with the AUG, puts that one to bed, and a second volley of fire over the top of the rock sees Team Flash to the chicken dinner.
I'll take that one, that's for sure. Over 20 points in that game. A massive one for them. I guarantee you, their coaches, everybody was telling them, right, hey, this is what you need to do if you want to make a run of it. And this is a start, right? This is a start. It's still a long road ahead, but now the road is there. You know what I'm saying? It had to happen in this game, and they got it done.
That's what you need to do. When that clock strikes, you've got to hear the call and step up to that plate. Unfortunate that Nongshim and E-Arena couldn't really get much further into that one. That Aurora hold on the eastern side, it stopped them really from being able to break out in the way that they wanted to. Flash were an incredible suppressive force over the course of a lot of that final set of circles, so really, really great stuff from them. But yeah, it could have been very, very different if Aurora had played that slightly in a different fashion.
For sure. I mean, unfortunate for them, super fortunate for the rest of this lobby, as we're going to go into one more game for sure. Now, as far as teams that are still within that Smash Point threshold, I believe it's still going to be the duo, right? It's still going to be the 2 teams. But another opportunity in this next game, right, for more squads to be able to push their way on up. As we're going to take a look at the replay here, Team Flash, great job of being able to finish this game strong. Win especially, just boom, putting the nail in the coffin. That's how you do it.
I just didn't want to mess about, you know. He knew this game's over. Come on. Let's go next. Keep the pace, because they do want to keep up that pressure. If you're on a run, now is the time to hold on to that momentum. There is no more runway that you need to cover to take off on this. It is just today. There is nothing that you want to leave out on Erangel and let it go to Miramar, because you may not reach it. No one might.
Just look at these players' faces. Straight intensity. These guys are locked in right now. They know exactly what they need to do in order to make this happen. And it's going to be on the back of a ton of eliminations and securing those wins, all while stopping E-Arena and Nongshim Red Force, who had a great pincer on the end of that circle there. But, you know, I think teams now especially have understood just how threatening this Smash rolling is.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do extra and beyond to make sure that they can stop those 2 squads.
Absolutely. I mean, there is so much pressure on so many teams. I think that, again, I'm gonna go back to my old favorite hobby, it seems, this game of giving a little bit of hate over to Ralph, because Nick Galaxy, that 2-2 split did not work. It was really kind of catastrophic. And hey, you know what? The position that they went to, that they tried to go for on that east side, was where Team Flash won from. So could have been different. But we're going to head down to the stage. Kalaris has a little interview for us for some inside information.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Here with Nongshim Red Force, Hyunbin once again to get some insights on what's gone on so far. Let's talk about the Erangel that just actually happened. You guys find yourself in mini mill to power, but then the circles shift away from you. You sent it north instead of any other direction. Talk to me about that choice. Do you think it was the right one, or do you think there was another path you could have taken?
일단 현빈 선수 첫 번째 질문은 일단 아까 에란겔 경기부터 일단 얘기를 해볼게요. 에란겔 경기 때 사실 밀타 파워 쪽의 공장을 이용하셨다가 이제 자기장이 튀자마자 이제 바로 북쪽으로 지르셨는데 사실 그쪽이 좀 다른 선택권이 없어서 좀 강제가 된 건지 아니면은 좀 그게 좀 가능성이 있다고 보신 건지 좀 궁금하네요.
일단 저희 자리에서 치킨 갖고 오기는 좀 많이 힘들었던 것 같고 저희가 오로라 한 명을 잘라나왔고 그 골에서 오로라 일단 한 팀 먹고부터 할 생각이긴 했습니다.
Yeah, we already knew that that shift was actually really tough for us. So what we thought was Aurora was actually there, and we got a one knock of Aurora player. So I think we should have started with getting out, knocking out Aurora, and then we find our footing on the ground inside that circle.
So the Rondo game, you just won another one here. You look always great in urban endings, does Nongshim Red Force. So talk to me about that urban ending. What were your biggest concerns? You had great roof control. So what was your guys' perspective on that finish?
또 론도판에서는 또 치킨을 드셨는데 사실 시가전에서 정말 좋은 모습을 보여주시는 것 같습니다. 그래서 그 시가전에서 특히나 이제 지붕을 통한 영역 컨트롤에 굉장히 또 일가견이 있으신 것 같은데 좀 그 점에 있어서 좀 어떤 점을 좀 중점으로 플레이를 했었는지 궁금합니다. 그 론도 플레이 때 시가전 플레이 때 어떤 플레이를 중점으로 두셨는지.
일단 저희 자리가 외곽이었고 저 시가 쪽 한쪽이 비었어갖고 일단 들어가서 서클 받다 보니까 그냥 좀 잘 먹은 것 같아요.
Well, honestly, I think the inside of the city play was actually well forced because we were outside of the circle. But that being said, I think we were kind of lucky because we tried to gain the footing because of actually one of the places are actually empty. So we just find our footing there, and then we just took a control of the roof, and then we maintained good condition and intel.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining me, Hyunbin, here once again. That's Nongshim Red Force currently in position on the smash rule as we continue the games here at PMWC.
Nongshim Red Force and E Arena not being able to close it out, so we're gonna keep going. One more match in this one. Team Flash being able to come off with the win there after not really being able to do much for the whole tournament. Great performance out of this squad, but don't forget, for everybody that's currently here at EWC, make sure you guys check out the fan experience. Go look at the awesome stuff between PUBG Mobile and Naruto. try out Brain Rot Royale. Why not? Because we've been able to try it, and it's quite fun. And I played it way too much. I had to stop so I could actually come here and break down what's been going on in the finals, and also check out Spider-Man. Maybe you'll get a chance to meet him and greet him. But about this performance from Team Flash Max, we finally got a chance to see them perform.
I never doubted. No, I have been doubting a little bit. It's been looking a bit dicey recently, unfortunately. But no, really good hold on the northern side, right? Able to get rid of a lot of threats over in that position. Definitely a team that has been very silent. But before this game, they had a total of 63 points. If my count is right, they just got about a third of the points they've made so far up until now out of all of their games in a single chicken dinner, 23 points. So that's going to get them way higher up in the middle rankings. And let's keep in mind, even if you're not number 1-7, the prize pool distribution is getting way higher on that first half of the leaderboards.
It is. For some of these teams that might be too far away from that threshold of the Smash rule, they're going to be pushing up because there is that prize pool at stake. $3 million that we're going to be giving out. And Horror Esports being able to perform really well, seeing the aggressiveness. This is what we've been expecting out of Horror Esports, the aggressiveness, 16 eliminations.
I mean, it's a real shame we just didn't see this from the get-go, right? From day one throughout to today, because they could have been in a very different position on those leaderboards than we see them right now. But also, just mention very quickly, as we look at the team stats here for Sleepy and Sky actually doing some mega work. They did have some really good names. They were pushing very well. They are the team that got rid of E-Arena in the mid-phase of that game, taking shots onto Nungshin there. So, you know, very, very proactive, really looking around them and trying to get as many elims as possible. I think we can call that farming.
They were farming a little bit.
Farming.
They definitely were. But actually, the key thing we have to keep in mind for Horror here is they are the team that eliminated E-Arena, which is a team, if you get that elimination, one of the plays, you're like, that's E-Arena. That's E-Arena right there.
Go.
Push them. And then they did it. And because of that, right, Lace, they delay the tournament just a little bit more, which really is going to make this event so much more interesting because so many teams can enter the Smash Zone.
I know, and how crazy it is that the top of the leaderboards seem to fall and then these mid-teams sort of have that glimpse of hope and opportunity. But that's why we love it here for PUBG Mobile with the Smash Rule, especially. Now, I do want to sort of draw your attention to S2G, a team that is quite incredibly close to that Smash Rule. But if we talk about the first game, we didn't really get to chat to them sort of in that first mid-section. They had a nice recovery, a little bit of a hot drop, couldn't capitalize on as many eliminations as they wanted to. The roughest zone shift for them, they had like that kind of open terrain, they couldn't really move in. And then they passed. And then this game, again, it kind of like they're losing their team so incredibly early after eliminations. You saw Kamikaze there on the north side trying to sponge those points, but again, falling short. Look how incredibly close S2G are, 116. They should have done it earlier.
Just 6 points away from being able to enter the Smash Zone. Aurora Gaming as well, currently 9 points away. And teams that were going to be looking to be able to close that gap, especially when we saw E-Arena get eliminated. Nonshin really not going for that many eliminations, playing it quietly. Four Thrives. I mean, Four Thrives wasn't really able to do much. And with the win that we just saw to Team Flash, Team Flash now moves into 7th place.
Yeah, really good push up here. Team Flash, 7th position overall. That's going to be an extra bit of money in their back pocket. But the thing is, they're looking very scary. Look at the top three. 3 chicken dinners, 2 chicken dinners, 3 chicken dinners, while the other teams below all have 0, like 4 Thrives, or a singular chicken dinner. So that is really making it scary that the tournament could really end at any point today.
Well, the big thing as well for me is that Aurora Gaming, Nigma Galaxy, and E-Arena all finished up that match with 0 points on the board, right?
Yes.
None. Nothing for game 2. S2G is moving up. As you said, Lace, you've got 4 Thrives. Well, also they got 0 points, so they don't count. But Team Flash, Ulf, all of these teams, they are really making a push forward, while those top teams, except for Nongshim, it's getting very close for the rest of those teams.
And in this first page of the overall, there is one big outlier, especially when we're looking at the wins here. And it's none other than 4 Thrives. 4 Thrives, the only team in this first page that doesn't have a win. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, yes, 4 Thrives, if you are able to have a good performance in the next match, at one point, we need to start seeing those win if they want to be able to win via Smash Roll.
I mean, even if we bring it back to sort of the group stages, they were sort of unable to get those chicken dinners. Of course, they could capitalize on eliminations, but they weren't really one of those teams that would close out the win. We're sort of seeing this trend now, and of course, they want to sort of get those elims and sponge those points to hit that kind of Smash Roll threshold, but it's still, if you calculate statistically, it's still, their win rate is is not really
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
A little bit
politely.
tough. But you know what? I'm gonna pivot the conversation. I want to bring it back to Nongshim Red Force.
Yes, let's discuss.
And what
I wanted
happened?
to take a bit of time here because that was an absolutely insane throw. There are three options. Or you third party to the western side on the mountain next to Lumberyard, or you directly crash into Al Ula, which is what I think would have been a really good option, or you decide to go for the wide wrap onto Flash, which I wouldn't recommend, and they ended up doing. There were so many options to go, but that was like out of the three, Nitra,
Yes.
the one that was not going to give them the win.
And you know what? It's showcased by Al Ula taking second place from the exact position that we were like, Nongshim, go that way, go that way. Al Ula end up going that way, get that second place, and I think if it had been Nongshim with the kind of momentum that they had off the win, they would have won there. It is genuinely not even game throwing, it's almost championship throwing in game 2, right? Because they could have won it, they could have ended it, done and dusted, and they just didn't. They went for a very different play.
Yeah, and especially because of that rotation. If you push Al Ula, let's say, only Al Ula is going to fight you, right?
Yeah.
It's literally team versus team.
Literally.
That wide Eastern rotate, Aurora's looking your way, Team Flash is looking your way, Al Ula's also looking your way. You're just making it harder for yourself. And Nongshim Red Force have some of the best rotations sometimes, and then they pull stuff like that. I'm very confused. They're a very confusing team. Entertaining to watch, but confusing.
I also want to sort of point out, and this is just kind of across battle royales in general, sometimes you only have that one opportunity, and when you miss it, it is now 10 times harder to get back to that same position. You do not get these chances often. And like you said, Nepturo, they didn't make that space, they didn't make that play well, so it will be a little bit more challenging now.
And with Nongshim Red Force, especially in that performance, right? I fully agree with you guys. They decided to go the completely wrong way, being within nade range of Aurora as well, even though they ended up out-surviving Aurora. One thing, though, for this team is that when we've seen it in the past, you were kind of telling me this too, Neptura, especially a PMMI. Once they hit the smash zone, this team is so scary because they know exactly what they're playing for, which is just the win, right? Yes, they can get some points. We kind of saw this here being super passive, the team just waiting for the right time. And I think maybe that's what could have hurt them there. They was just looking for something passive. They weren't looking for an actual fight, and that's why they decided to go with that rotation.
You know what? I 100% agree with you there, Seven, because, yeah, they are so scary. They are so patient. And we saw that them lining up on Milta Power there, lining up on that wall, going, okay, what's the next play? They didn't look scared. They weren't going too quickly. They were just being very patient. They were sitting and going, okay, what are we going to be doing next? And then they make the most harebrained, like, under pressure play, it felt like, right? Another team I would have expected that from. Not from Nongshim, not with the presence of mind they seem to have while in the smash point. They are not a team that falls under pressure, and it felt like they just did that moment, so very, very odd. Next game, though, still that chance. No one's quite caught up to that smash zone, so really EA still the only competitor for them right now. Game 3, we can do this.
I'm going to pivot the topic again. Sorry, I'm all over the place. There's so much to talk about right now. But I want to talk about actually the MVP race, which is actually, we could have a dark situation on our hands, which is we saw Eren being top damage dealer, he had a ton of eliminations, and they're currently at the very bottom of the first page. We could have a situation where they're nowhere near winning the tournament, and a player on Ulf could actually become your PMWC 2026 MVP. Got to be careful there because he is in 4th position, but it's Hyunbin, it's Tizzy dominating here for Nongshim Red Force.
It is, and Hora with that performance that we just saw there, Sleepy being able to put up the numbers. Aaron, you were talking about it as well, but we have a lot of fans here in the arena. We got 4 thrives, we got a bunch more over there from Godlike. Let's see what Barney's currently up to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've said it time and time again that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans. We've got so many around the arena, so before we dive into our third map of the day, it is time to check in with them. And so, Furia, Godlike, make some noise! Kilaris, who have you got with you, buddy?
Yeah, that's all well and good, but I've got Nigma Galaxy. Make some noise! Thunderous applause for Nigma Galaxy! What have you got going on, Barney? Lottie, what have you got?
James, Barney, you're not ready because I'm here with Sporty.
You can hear the celebration in the arena. I'm sure you can hear it at home.
as this Hall of Heroes echoes with every fan's hopes and dreams, giving out their energy, because the tournament still goes on. Not ending in a Game 2 smash, we run it right back. And anticipation has reached fever pitch here in France. Everyone's loving it.
Having a great time here in the arena. The Enigma Galaxy fans getting ready. I mean, they have played very well today. Lord making a great showing on that first match, but goodness me, what an event, what atmosphere we've got here in our arena. Lovely to see all the support coming out for our players, for our teams here. Potentially the last match. Ooh, maybe. Felt like it on that last one. Weren't quite able to get it there for Nongshim Red Force, so they kind of make a bit of a Hail Mary. Didn't work out. But we do have our third match coming up. Erangel. Nice and steady map here to get yourself a chicken dinner on. Nongshim might be waiting for later on in the day though. Hitting another big Miramar, but will someone beat them to the punch? Will E-Arena start stepping back up again?
A lot of fine margins and a room that's getting rowdier and rowdier each game that goes by. But we'll focus on the here and now, the present that is the fact. We've been presented with a third game here live from EWC. PMWC has not stopped delivering, and I don't doubt this game will be anything different. We're back on Erangel, playing path established.
Last match, a little bit difficult, honestly. I don't blame a lot of our teams for struggling slightly there. Very, very southern playing path to start things off. Awkward drop spots, awkward rotates, quick switch out towards the eastern side. Not an easy game to confirm a chicken dinner on. This time around, really, really gentle playing path. Straight across the center. No one's complaining. Everyone's had a lovely in-flight meal, and we are ready to get going again. Things spread across the entirety of the map. So a lot of room to rotate, Jackie, but where's the circle?
Well, if history's anything to go by with some of the circles we've had here this event, it might be something a little bit spicy for this one.
It might be. Might just be. Fair bit of Sosnovka pulled into play here down towards the south side. We got plenty of water in play. Teams have to start getting their feet wet into this one to make it happen. Those bridge crossings, absolutely diabolical. Aurora, also tough decisions. S2G, bit of a menace team to run into on that eastern side, but Fourth Thrives have been consistently oppressive over towards the west. So hard decisions need to be made for this squad. They're getting vehicles, likely will loot down towards the south side of the map. They've been praying for a southwest shift on this one. Over towards farm, Nongshim Red Force will get moving. Planting those seeds of destiny. Hopefully get themselves another chicken dinner today. E-Arena far out over towards the northwest side, South George. Long distance on this one.
And of course, for those of you at home that don't want to forget the event, make sure you get stuck in with that Naruto in-game event that's been going on. Pick up that awesome Ninetales Fury Org and try and make plays like some of the best we've seen over the tournament.
One of the best right here on our screens in Mormon. For E-Arena, he has been the man. Seriously good stuff from him. So many clutch plays, so many moments where it felt dire and Mormon was able to pull it back for the squad. Looking to do the same here in the final day. They've already achieved the smash ruling. As we said earlier on the desk, the only two teams to currently do it, but do think that that will change after match 3 if we don't end it all here and now. Right now you have that serene sense for E-Arena as well as Nongshim Red Force that there is only one other squad in the lobby that could beat you to the punch.
I do think, mate, with how S2G have looked
if you could come alive here, get a bit of a big boost off this game, they've still got a chance to be a dark horse, to be able to upset in this lobby. And I think we saw some of that talent yesterday when they were fighting under so much pressure as well. In disadvantaged situations from distance, Hamzy G, he was popping off. There's a lot they can do, bro. You know, we touched on Kamikaze an awful lot over the event, but I think it's that duo that brings so much firepower. So we'll see what they got this time.
Hamzy as well as Kamikaze looking great. And for S2G, they're a team that's put up quite a lot of chicken dinners so far, actually. I think they're currently on 3. Looking to break that record, though I think it will be difficult today to do that, since get up towards 5, and by the time they get to 5, they should have also just won at that point. That's a smash. So possibilities of broken records ruined by the format for them. But I do think they would be happy with the win, regardless.
Yeah, don't forget to bother them too much, right?
Yeah, so for S2G, certainly a possibility here. Only 6 points on this game that's needed for them. For Aurora, we are looking towards 9. Enigma Galaxy is going to have to be a bigger match. 22 points on that one, which is almost certainly going to be a chicken dinner. But yeah, a lot of teams looking to breach that smash ruling as we come into match 3, which is where it always gets stressful. Hot Jukes, a little documentary style, earlier on today was saying that he'd love to see 6 teams towards that final match, all vying it out for the chicken dinner. Has felt like a lot of times internationals do go to that 6th match no matter what. And even in PMMI, ooh, for Nongshin Red Force, oh my god, he's alive. For Nongshin Red Force, he did go to match 6 when they got that smash. Satan immediately peeling off there for Enigma Galaxy, but they are in close contention with 4 Thrives, who are exiting from Ferry Pier and Yellows.
Four Thrives, they've been loving these fights versus Enigma the entire event. Always able to catch them on their egress. I was just as surprised as you were. He actually got out from that one. But Lord, not lucky enough to bypass either. That back and forth conversation between those two teams continues even this far into the event. Emre running down Lord to get that confirmation off.
Yeah, now that idea of getting the chicken dinner and getting into smash ruling feels a little further away. 4 Thrives will aggress over towards Ida. Should hit them up towards the 100 now, so they've also hit the century on this game. Getting ever closer to that count. Nongshin Red Force was able to make a fairly good rotation towards the central position. They like to play around this area. They are cut in with S2G though. Slightly scary spot to be working with. Very central. Still only here in zone 1. Anything can happen as long as they're set up. Position to move from should be okay. Ulf finds S-Power. There is a clap back from Admino, who immediately will flush out Scarface. So full-on engagement here between Ulf as well as Godlike.
Already big shots being connected. And it's wiped up so quickly. Ulf withstand the pressure. They do lose one player, but they can get Eren back up, and that's a key piece of the puzzle for them. Keep him in play, reset with the meds, and grab the extra loot.
I mean, for Eren, what a run it's been for him during this tournament. Max was highlighting him on the desk of how much he was able to really prove himself here at this event, despite having some awkward moments, honestly. Still remember his crash into gas station, which went terribly wrong, but even then he is putting up numbers. OG do take a knock there to Tiamba, who have been sadly very quiet after day 1. A majority of the points earned there, if they were able to replicate anything like that day 1 and day 2 or day 3, they would have won this tournament by a mile. Sadly, that's just not the case. Trying to get back into the mix of it now, though, is Milu. So let's look for these nades.
Maru on about half HP there. AKOP in the back line. Ooh, nice arc from Milu. Milu, the madman, when he's feeling himself, he can do so much damage on a battleground. He's got back up from the boys. If they can get out of this one cleanly, Maybe they can at least try and ruin some of the runs for the other squads above them. And Milu keeps it going to get that flush as well, so that will remove Aru. Hard cut him out. Blue coming in to make it a bit more suffocating between these two sides.
Quite a few nades already expended here from Tiamba as well as OG. But you're right, in zone 2 now. Blue starts to tickle a fair bit. QZZ gets a bit panicked there, will drop a couple of shots through and then immediately send in Milu. He's just going to prime the nade. That's a nice one from him. Good patience. Lets it go through. Is he going to peek this onto AKOP? It's me. Does not care in the slightest. Friendly fire. Denies the point.
Oh, yeah. And they're going to bounce around, make sure they clean up on that one. Trying to snatch away some of the earnings from it. Good to see Tiamba, though, getting a bit of fanfare back from the crowd and big plays from Milu. I think he was sat on about 11 elims off the back of 3 games back on day 1 as well, mate.
He's a killer, that's for sure. Tiamba lucky to have him. Great to see him back on the team again. Some subs came through yesterday, Shallow in, Milu out, but looks like he is ready to play today. Gameplay looks clean. For Nongshim Red Force, hard rotate up towards that north side. We've got Dip in play, but not fully. At least we did confirm away from the south side. A lot of the water got cut out immediately. A hard shift over towards the northwest, and an easy rotate now for Tiamba to actually get in.
There's Catch popping up in the elim feed. Couple shots over towards the Furious squad. Furia that have been a little bit more shaky today in some of the battles we've seen. Hasn't been as cutthroat. We'll see if that one results in a bit of a flush. Seems like they have grabbed Igor's back up for now, so he'll live on. Nongshim just ahead of the Aurora crew that have made their rotation over the bridge, left of Novka. Oh, are they going in for this aggro?
Aurora might be looking just to swing on the coastal side, deny as much sidelines as possible. Top though, playing an anchor backstop here, taking some good shots. There is another play here alongside it with Doc. Hamzy G at distance, also watching, so this is a dangerous rotate here for Aurora, because even if they get down towards the beachhead, S2G might have a sightline with Hamzy, and we know just how good Hamzy is at distance. An eagle eye on him. Nades go through, but so easy, brushes them off.
Dirt off the shoulder for So Easy. Can't keep this man down right now. 3 of their nades invested, so draining some of the early offensive utility, but it looks like they've still got a good supply, at least on Doc with 5 in the backpack. Meanwhile, E-Arena pushing back up over to Waldorf. Ketch trying to catch an escape plan. Dives behind the driving, but it's not quick enough as Joker will adjust his crosshair and find that one on the exit. Mormon takes a knock back over.
Bit of a disjointed Irish exit there from Ulf. Alula under pressure though, as S2G just flies in over towards the garages. R3B in the corner, and S2G cleans it up. Not a single player lost. Should be able to get that res. Nongshim Red Force in the meantime, after seeing those players leaving, did get that leapfrog on, so they get a little bit further into the circle here. Milta, not the main feature. If we go down towards the southeast, we know just how good Nongshim can be in an urban finish. Thriving in the concrete jungles.
So no overcommit. Like you touched on, Aurora just controlling some of the rotation paths with the coast firmly under their foot. Map geometry favoring them from this position. They opt to go for the 2-2 split. Rufus and Top further over near the area we see Vitality starting to encroach upon. Whilst Joel and Doc, 2 players with very heavy hands if you do want to challenge them in a raw duel, play off each other.
It's actually a possibility right now with S2G leaving. I don't know if Aurora is able to spot that. They certainly don't see Hamzy G continuing to peak the angle, but now they have free capability to actually make an eastern ramp if they want. Right now they're holding 2 fairly decent locations in terms of vision onto the map, but they are right on the edge, so eventually they'll have to move. I think likely what's going to happen is they'll wait for Zone 4, make a decision from there how they want to rotate in. But there's a lot of free space over towards the eastern side, and already Doc is going to scout it. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Get a little bit further up, realize that actually this space is kind of open at the moment for us to get a little bit more of an eye in towards the circle.
That's the kind of premium real estate that man like Doc's going to instantly sniff out and be confident enough to rep himself to take control of. We'll see how this pans out long term for Aurora.
Next circle though. We have to define a lot of how this works, and we are down towards Milta. Nongshim might be thinking about making a move right now, and they're instantaneous. This is way better than last game. Last game felt late on those rotates. It felt like they were still making decisions. This time they are much quicker with it. Out to the outside edge, not confirmed towards Milta yet. Still giving them capability to move out towards the field should this move towards the west. But now they're going to have a swivel on towards all the teams around them. Aurora recalling Rufus back towards the squad as teams start to surge towards Milta.
Timing on this is going to be so dangerously tight, though. They all caught vision on one another. Ida have already entered close. Three-man split. Solo's playing in a line there for Aurora with the wrap in late. Rufus, seeing the backline of Vitality, knows he's got to go down towards the coast and then assist the team. Tiamba getting shots off as well. That's off. Oh, you're going to be eating shrapnel on this one. Wide arc down towards the roadside.
Solus and Aaron here by the toll gates. It's always an awkward spot, very nadeable. Couple of positions you could play around inside the toll booth itself to try and dodge those close quarters ordnance. Oh my god, there's mollies everywhere. Aaron can barely move. He has to find an opening with this nade, but for Ulf it's looking like it's more and more over. XZY goes down to a nade from Rufus. Doesn't push it though. Should be resable.
That's two players knocked as well. We saw Vitality getting the first domino falling onto Nongshim, then the assist coming in from Aurora. The Nongshim Smash squad might have come unstuck early.
It's far, it's far. It's so hard. He kind of needs to get over the top and try and pick him up, but when the vehicle's currently slammed, it's really difficult to do. Just about holds the res. He was so low. Tizzy perched himself on the rubble of the wall. Whoa, that was close, Jackie.
I think we just saw Federales get a single tap onto Hyunbin as well. He was looking for the drop with the smoke, wanted to try and get down there and assist. Took a single bullet, had to hit the deck again. Thankfully, smoke's out, limited cover as well with the walls, so the geometry playing in their favor. You can go for another res. They might be able to recover it cleanly.
I think that they won't be recovering, though, is all this utility that they just spent getting those players back up again. How many smoke launchers do they still have left? Fexi finds Tizzy again. Nongshim under mad pressure at the moment between two separate squads, both looking towards them. Just have to hold on for the time being. Stop peeking, honestly, but I feel like they realize they need to keep these teams on the outside at bay. Arena, though, down in the blink of an eye versus Tiamba. Another team on Smash ruling out, and Tiamba survives as for just. Eagle inside. As always, the lurker looking to play medic for the rest of the squad here.
He might be the Eagle, but there is vultures swarming the skies around him. Other teams realizing there's been a lot of damage done here. It's a risky pickup with a position he's in. Luckily, he's got some cover from the vehicles to try and save his mates. That's Aura, though, with Jiggle getting one of them confirmed off the back of the damage that was done. So they do go down to at best a three-man squad post this pickup.
A lot of teams need to move. A lot of teams that actually fully confirmed though towards Milta now feeling a little bad about this one, which is exactly why you see Aurora playing on this edge down towards the south side and Nongshim not fully moving in. So 4 Thrives, they've got to extricate themselves. Flash have also got to pull themselves out of this one. S2G a little bit safer where they play around the warehouses and they can move up over towards that top side, move playing over towards Toll Booth later. But it's Aura right now who actually own the majority of the space on the northern edge. 4 Thrives opening up over towards Aurora as they move.
That backline in is good to at least take some of the heat off. Force attention turned back onto 4 Thrives from Aurora. Vitality have just been really running interference from this angle as well. If there's a peek up from Hyunbin, they're harassing with shots. If they can get LOS back over onto the coast of Aurora, it's punishing as well.
For Nongshim Red Force, they know the shots came from Vitality earlier, so this is sort of the team they need to deal with first. The one thing I really worry about for Nongshim, though, is how exposed the vehicles have been this entire time. You got to imagine that wheels are blown out, if not vehicles fully exploded. They do have to move further in towards the circle, likely will be on foot, unless they can find some kind of vehicle in the near future. Vitality's going to go for a mad rotate over towards the northwest side. They hear the fighting, they notice that Enigma Galaxy's down. This is a good opportunity to go for. Vexy helping from the back lines. Really like this push from Vitality.
Ralph's on an island. Last man left alive and not breathing for much longer as Razak will find that adjustment back onto Enigma, so they go down. Vexy's been good as well at providing some overwatch for this squad. Showing up when they needed him. Fury are on the move close by, shots from either side, so a lot of information garnered towards them. They advance further. Silence and Co pushing up with the vehicles, going to peek over the top of the rocks. There's Tiamba in the distance, nades being thrown onto Vitality, a backline potential. Igor goes in, big sprays, assisted by Silence. 4-5's taking some damage as well, the Pepper back onto them.
Fury's going to move in on this, like you say. Igor's already on that front line. The rest of the team all stood alongside him now. And Vitality find themselves in a very horrendous position. Nades from Tiamba going a little bit wide here, trying to angle these through the smoke. That one should be on target. Easy cleanup. Tiamba grabbed themselves 10, 11 eliminations on this match so far. Much more reminiscent of the past, and Milu's already on 4.
Furia playing with that confidence and aggression we know they've got as 4-5's buckle under the pressure. Furia shutting them down in the close range combat. And Nongshim, after turtling for so long, finally knowing Vitality had been taken out of the picture, they can make a move. They're just wrapping around to where Aurora were.
This is interesting, trying to get rid of Aurora, actually. Only one player here in Reefer, potentially they've noticed that. There's actually a massive amount of space on this western side that they could clear. Tiamba's a 3-man, Furia's down to 2. Circle moves up that way, leaving Tiamba with one of the few remaining positions, and we are on toll booth. Oh my god, what a circle to end on.
Ooh, deep nades. Reefer's casting that one out. Back nades as he advances to try and create a little bit of space between the teams. Distant shots coming in from Tiamba. He's got to hit the deck, but that's not the only squad you got to worry about. Lost from S2G, gets a sight line, and goodbye Reefus.
The only thing is just like kind of flashbacks to last game where there is a massive capability of moving west on this one from Nongshim and clearing up towards that north side, having all that space. You'd imagine that they saw the amount of teams that moved into Milta. They are just charging headlong into danger here, where there is so much more room to play on the northwest side. Guys, you don't need elims. You need a chicken.
And they might get barbecued if they take too much time on this one. Joel was cooking the molly. XCY so paranoid about the peak from the top side with Tiamba. And with Furia not needing to force the issue amongst them, they've got a crystal clear line of sight down onto the rotate path for Nongshim. It's so uncomfortable.
Come back, lads. Just come back off this angle. We don't need to play it anymore. You can wrap back over towards. So easy. 2 down. What is this? It makes little sense. I mean, they'd set themselves up wonderfully the entire time for this western exit. And as soon as the circle moves away from Milta, what do we do? Push into Milta?
The panic's there. Paralysis by analysis. The zone takes away one of the members and we're down to just a duo. Aurora Core on their exit as Lost will be able to continue playing powerfully off this angle. XZY thankfully given a few moments of respite as he runs to try and find any cover at all.
Kamikaze from S2G, we talked at the start of the game. They have just about hit that 122 now. So they have hit that smash ruling going towards that next match. Another team steps up to the plate. They've done enough here, even if they go down. Looking to take down Ida regardless. Hams. Ooh, what a shot! Reaction coming through clutch there, but Kamikaze, as always, the backbone in the team.
Standing straight and keeping S2G in a position to recover from this. Quick reactions from Ida, but a shutdown play that will let S2G fight on for another day. Flash though getting eaten alive by Hora, wrapping down the ridge, the nades bouncing in, Tops is down, and Kamikaze scanning to see what more points they can steal.
Hora on for a big game here, actually, Jackie. Looking to push themselves further in the rankings. Only 2 eliminations so far, but so much more to grab here as most teams are bruised and bleeding coming into these final zones. Tiamba also having a good time of it. Nades going over the top here from Nongshim Red Force, rolling down, and we are directly on top of Toll Booth now.
That's okay falling. XZY getting the tags off. They've been under constant pressure the entire time. It's not clean. It's awkward.
Not even a helmet on So Easy here anymore.
Mate, you're playing with a bare minimum. Concessions had to be made, but a nade could be coming their way. Lost with 2 left in the back pocket. The first one thrown in looks good for the bounce. Oh, see ya!
Double bouncer. XZY is down. Comes to the end of his line there. Nongshim is floundering at the moment. Confusing moves. Win though from the backlines, will get the backstab, but immediately spotted out by Lost here. S2G absolutely have done enough, but they're looking to push further into this game, as is So Easy.
They're trying to send a message with this one. It's not just about what they needed to get into Smash. They want to prove that they can be the big dogs in the lobby. Response back over them. Hamza G eating the nade from Hora as Hora are lighting up the sky. Explosion after explosion on top of the Turkish team. They are stuck on the ridge and cannot advance. Backline attack from Tiamba from way over the other side. And Tiamba keeping the pressure on. Trying to get that pick up in. Lost with limited space to play off. In comes the nade. Oh! Sky makes it work and S2G go down.
S2G blown sky high behind the tree there. Let me introduce you to the biggest dog in the lobby. Hora on the northeast side. So Easy with barely a hope in this match, but still hanging on. Furia dashed by the roadside, leaving just Hora, Tiamba, Nongshim Red Force in this endgame. For Nongshim, the best thing about this is that even if there isn't a smash win, this is keeping them contention for the top spot, at least.
It's going to be big for the placements. And is there a chance of some sheer shenanigans from So Easy? He's crossing his fingers, mate. But you've got a hard task ahead of you.
This guy's got him. Has to have him here. Just the peeks over a little bit. So Easy, he's trying to hide his face behind the barest of pylons behind this railing. It is just not how. God, he has to do something. Oh, they've smoked him.
Hang on a minute.
Cheers, lads. I really needed that.
He's tucked in behind it. There's no real angle from the backside as well from Tiamba, so it just depends. I mean, if Hora go for the hard force over...
This is mad.
Yeah, this could get cheeky quite quickly. Sleepy would have burned down as well. The vehicle... Oh, it's all going wrong! So Easy on the peacock, good for one, and Tiamba assisting with the shots from the top. He's going to try first on these as well.
Or on the assist with an unreal smoke. Mollies go in, nades go wide, and he is out. Tiamba will clean up.
Nongshim were looking to blot out the sun on that one with a surprise plays, but it's not going to happen now. And Hora solo remains with the advancement of Tian, but the nade goes over. Sky got a backpedal. Runs back to whatever cover he can find. Can he trust in his source on this one?
holding the peak, ready for the shots. Eagle gets knocked out of the Sky. QZZ with a reposition as Sky advances forward with a shotgun in his hand. Nade being cooked by Milu, and this man don't miss.
Good damage. QZZ falls over the second, and Tiamba is back. What a fantastic game. The three-man inside just felt like these guys needed a little bit of confidence. And that star on the match reinvigorates whatever light died out in Milu on day 2. It is back on now, and it is blaring.
They started that game as they meant to proceed. The aggression was there. The despicable nade plays from Milu that always give you that gut-wrenching feeling of how does he do it. Continued from start to finish. The shots are on point. And a pathway begins to present itself.
Aura's got to be mad at themselves, though. Imagine just smoking off so easy.
The smoke into the tire pot on the career down the hill. Oh, but
they really did careen off course there. Looked so good up until that point. Covering their angles, clearing their spots out. So easy. He was mega confused. I would have loved to see his face in that moment. Pure shock. He's like, is that the nade moved away from me? He's like, wait, actually.
That's the smoke. I can blast that.
Nice. That's great. I didn't have one of those before, you know?
No utility left, but they gave him what to be nice. And then Tiamba with the perfect timed nades.
Man. So good. There was a small part of me that thought that So Easy was going to clutch up. Small part of me. But I am glad it was Tiamba.
Oh, yeah. Tiny percentage, but it started to get a little bit bigger with how things were going. But hey, a Tiamba win is a very exciting prospect. Such a fun team to watch, Blank, bringing the heat in finals.
They're just a fast-paced team, and I think what we've seen them from before is just a little bit of that sluggish gameplay where they weren't quite able to make those plays, and they've been desperately banging on that door, but it's just been not going down. And I think Milu right there just put a foot through it. So it looks good. It looks way better now. They're pulling off those maneuvers too. So yeah, great work to Tiamba. Really, really happy to see it. And it was, I think for me, it was fantastic to see these guys happy.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite thing about that win.
It's nice to see him smiling, nice to see the success story of how they're playing. And mate, you're right. I think if there was a door there, Milu not only kicked it down, he just destroyed the entire house.
He's just a whirlwind.
Yeah. Came through, blowing everyone away. And mate, I'd love to see that. I hope that continues.
I hope it does continue as well. For Tiamba, it's not over yet. We haven't rung the bell. They might have been uppercutted, but they have got back up again. The count did not finish. It's scary, no? Going into these final matches, we've got 3 teams at match point right now. It's S2G, E-Arena, as well as Nongshim. Nongshim's been making some crazy decisions. E-Arena, sadly, on the other hand, have just not been able to eke out those performances so far. It's felt a little bit timid from that team. S2G, though, I think this is a worrisome squad to have in that top 3 because they could just light it up at any moment now. Unless the pressure gets to him, which it seems to be the case for quite a few of our teams.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the contrast we're painting there for E-Arena, right? Where it feels like you had some flash in the pan moments, but now it's come to, you just got to follow through. It's not happening. Whereas S2G, we know they can strive for greatness. It feels like championship mentality is going hand in hand with their aggression, the way they're approaching these lobbies. All it takes, one big game. Could be a championship right there. But stay tuned for that. We'll find out. The narrative continues. Do not go anywhere.
Human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.
fighting until we make it. These teams are in Tiamba, able to get that chicken dinner, full control of the zone. But we have to talk about something that's very important. S2G being able to get into the Smash Zone now, not coming up short this match.
I mean, I just sort of want to touch on that. From their compound, they actually probably had the better position out of the squad, sort of moving that rotate in. But I mean, we got to talk about like their push on our Ula. I'm sure Max is going to cover this nicely a little bit later. But just the, I guess, raw power that they had from start to finish from that game, they were finally able to get over that threshold. Do I believe they should have done it in the first 2 games? A little bit, but that's okay. They've done it now, and obviously this is one of the teams that can take a victory.
They definitely can take a victory. This is a team that has already gotten 3 wins in Erangel in the finals when we're talking about S2G. If we're looking at some of the other teams looking to get to that Smash Zone, it's none other than Aurora. I actually thought Aurora was going to be able to make it already. They're struggling a bit today, Max.
Yeah, a bit of a weird hold onto Nongshim Red Force in particular. They're looking kind of weird. But by the way, I want to bring it back to S2G. They not only make it into the Smash Zone, they've got a 9-point lead on top of E-Arena, which if we do not get a Smash, is going back to the OG rules, which is the most amount of points becomes the champion. So right now, S2G are loving it, but so are Tiamba, shattering dreams in this game, eliminating E-Arena, eliminating the final player here at the very end for Nongshim Red Force, man. They are the reason why the tournament has not yet ended.
Hora Esports back-to-back great games here out of them. And for 4th Tribes Neptura, this team, after that rondo that we saw, they're starting to struggle. They ended up the first Erangel with a big old donut, and in this one, at least they secure 4 points.
I mean, at least they do. I did see that they had a really fantastic rotation around from just massive wraparounds into Milta and then out of it. But yeah, 4 points is all they're going to get for that. Fantastic nades from Hora. Oh my goodness me. You were talking about it, right, Max? Sky is fantastic with the nades today. Really, really on point. And Tiamba, I mean, honestly, the word that I would use for both Tiamba and Hora, they're feeling very intense. You don't want to go up against them. Look at those sprays. Long range, through the smokes. There's no escaping this team.
What are those sprays from QZZ? Oh my god. That was crazy stuff going out from him. I mean, he was just lasering everyone through the smokes. Incredible stuff. But at the end, Hora, another solid finish, right?
Yes.
Sure, maybe not a chicken dinner, but it's a strong back-to-back, but so easy. In that smoke, actually, that was a smoke right from Hora Niptra. I thought maybe if he stays hidden, he could third-party it, but at the end, Tiamba put the nail in the coffin.
That's something that I was actually hoping that So Easy was going to do. He was going to end up waiting a little bit longer, maybe use that smoke to his advantage. But Max, he didn't want to wait for that third-party option. He just wanted to take matters into their own hands. And it goes back to what we're saying with Nongshim. It feels like they're being passive, but they're not quite sure when to be aggressive and when to flip that switch.
They are a little bit hesitant, right? And that's the thing about the Smash ruling. Love it or hate it, teams, the mindset does change a little bit when you do have that chance of getting those chicken dinners. It is quite stressful for now. Not just 2 teams, but 3 teams. S2G are going to be joining their ranks, but of course S2G got 3 chicken dinners so far in the finals, so they're looking like a team that could actually wrap it up. But looking at the rotations this game in particular, I know you in particular, Niptra, were quite critical about their push on the western side of Milta. There were other options that maybe could have been more valuable.
Absolutely. I think any... Oh, wait, hang on.
Hold on.
That's my clip right there. So looking at this split, so actually S2G, sorry, I have to jump into it. We're very split. Lost solo, literally in the 1v4. And even then, he's popping off, but he's also getting a bit of assistance from the teams on the other side of the road, right? His particular Kamikaze's got a fantastic angle. And there, the backup. This is literally the play that gets them into the Smash Zone. Solke gonna be sending it forward. He's gonna be joined up then by Habsajijik, an absolutely superhero style in the building. And they get 1, get 2, get 3, and the final player. And because of that, they get the 4-man reset and actually get enough points to enter the Smash Zone. What a hero save play of the day. They don't do that, they would still not be over that 122-point threshold.
It's insane. I think I missed that play. Thank you for that replay, because oh my goodness me.
Hey, so HamCG is just like crashing the wall. We are not going out.
They just send it. Absolutely send it. And that's what we want to see out of some teams. Being able to send it. E-Arena, one team that's currently also running into that struggle when we talk about teams struggling that are already in the Smash Zone lace for E-Arena.
That was Tiamba's fault. I don't know. Like, I have to bring it to Tiamba because obviously E-Arena, you know, they had a nice little path in there, but Tiamba were actually positioned in such a great spot that they were so annoying to every team. This is Aurora. This was obviously even helping S2G in that fight. They were able to sort of gatekeep that area from E-Arena as well. And so it's unfortunate that we're seeing like E-Arena not being able to push into the position early enough because they are still sort of playing that edge.
They are going to be playing that edge, but right now they need to get that win if they want to be able to win via Smash Rule. They are one of those teams currently in the Smash Zone. Keep in mind, E-Arena started off the day with 112 points. They have only gotten 11 points so far after 3 matches.
And 10 out of those 11 have been in Rondo. Because remember, they hit 122. That's where they were. In the last 2 games, they've gotten 1 point. What is happening to E-Arena? You're looking so strong.
Yeah, transitioning to some of the other teams, right? I'm going to be looking at 4 Thrives Esports. This is a team, Max, that we thought was going to continue on that momentum. Remember, this is a team that usually is able to carry on momentum. They're still hesitant. They're still showing those things that we've been critiquing this whole PMWC at EWC 26, which is hesitance at times.
I was hoping they were not going to doubt themselves because they're not in the Smash Zone. Unlike what we saw in PMGO Season 1, where they were actually very stressed and Ulf almost were able to close a 50-point gap over the course of those 6 matches. But no, 4 Thrives a bit shaken here. And actually, Nipchira, one play that you highlighted is that 3-1 split, right? You had Huzaifa on his own, 3 players in the city. That was a bit of a head-scratcher, right?
Yeah.
He was by himself.
Huzaifa was by himself. I could see maybe what they're trying to do is hedge their bets, but he was in such a difficult position, and it's a shame that he actually, when they actually wrapped around outside of the town as well to go back, Huzaifa ended up being taken out early, so that's a shame.
As I'm looking at the teams here, all the way up to 11th place, 92 points. These teams are getting closer and closer. They're kind of giving a bit of an advantage there, since some of the teams towards the top are choking a little bit, are not being able to get that many points. For those teams on the second page, what that's going to be costing Neptura and Lays and Maxman, it's just going to be costing for all those teams to just get closer and closer. There's a lot of money at stake right now when we end up talking about some of these squads. Let's see what we have, some of the comments on social media as well. 1 chicken for 4T, and then you see what's domination is. Yeah, but right now we're not seeing the domination. We want to see that domination from 4 Thrives, right? Yeah! Let's see if they'll be able to deliver for their fans here at the arena. But for some of the other teams, right, we're now talking about, let's go back to Hora, because Hora is stopping a lot of those teams towards the top from getting those points. The teams towards the top need to be able to find some kind of adjustment to that aggressiveness that we're seeing out of Hora.
Yeah, them, Tiamba also, Hora in particular, they have nothing to lose, right? They're like, okay, we have to go hard or go home today. We have to initiate that comeback and leave the second page, which with the last 2 games on Erangel, they've been doing. We have 1 more Erangel coming up, right? So maybe we can finally see a Hora chicken dinner. That will be very exciting here in the finals of PMWC. But Tiamba, I feel like they're a team that in this lobby, if they get a knock and a flush on a player that's or E-Arena or Nongshim Red Force, and maybe now also S2G, they just fully capitalize on it. And I love it. They really are one of the few teams that are delaying this tournament until the very, very end.
I mean, I sort of just want to bring your attention to Furia because they are still sort of in that 90 points there. And from that previous game, they were holding the western side. Obviously, Hora was sort of taking out the rest of S2G. They did nothing. They didn't even rotate and swing around where Hora was, which would have capitalized their elimination. So they're kind of not being as present as they usually are.
It could be ending here in this next match. My prediction was in 4 matches. How many matches do you have, Neptura?
4.
Max?
4.
Lace?
I was hoping for 2, so mine's it.
Okay, yours is absolutely good.
Okay.
But let's see if it's going to be ending here in match number 4, or if we're just going to be getting a bunch more teams joining in the Smash Zone.
Will this be it? We are about to find out. S2G joins the fray. Now 3 different squads could smash.
3 teams with that opportunity in our final edition of Erangel at the PMWC. It is going to go a little bit further than maybe some were expecting, given how today started, getting 2 teams into that Smash Zone so early on. But that double Milter shift on both of our zones has kind of thrown a spanner in the works. I mean, for Nongshim, right, they're dropping around that area, they're getting pushed in around the bridge. It seemed like they didn't quite have the force to be able to push their way out, right? They're still earning a lot of points on these games, though. So if it does go the full distance, they may just be able to win it out like that.
That's what you got to do at the end of the day. Is you got to try to win this whole thing in as many different ways as possible. And that is going to be, you're going to smash, or you're going to end up with the most points on the leaderboards at the end of the day. And Nongshim Red Force with that double Milta circle, like you mentioned, is just putting in the work. Problem is, though, is that if we get another one, I mean, everyone's going to know by now exactly where they're at. So the focus is going to, I think, shift a little bit. But this could be the game where we get a crazy Erangel circle to finish out the PMWC here at EWC live in Paris. You can see these players cracking their knuckles, getting ready to drop in one last time.
On Erangel, that will be the final bill. 3 teams, as you say before. Out of those 3, I feel like for my money, given today's games, I'm favoring either S2G or Nongshim Red Force. I feel like for me, E-Arena today has been solid, consistent, but not a game-winning team. And I need to see a little bit more from them to be confident in their ability to fully confirm on that smash. But we've seen them do some crazy stuff, right? They have broken records on their road here, and now they're in with a chance to take that title, give Schweppes his 3rd performance at a global level to get a global stage title with those 2 PMWI trophies already behind him, looking for a 3rd time to take it home.
Well, here comes the big one. We're here in Paris, folks. Let's make some noise as this is the last Erangel of the tournament. Could this be the final match? That's the question we're about to find out as we're looking now at the plane. These players are locked, loaded, ready to go. And we got one going right down the middle here in a nice diagonal coming from George all the way down to Novo.
Yeah, going to give a lot of access to everywhere on the map here. Shouldn't be too many hot drops. I know we've seen a couple of those certainly earlier on. I mean, in our first Erangel, we had that hot drop over near the Gatka Fields that was a little bit questionable. Godlike not super happy about that, but there have been performances across the board here. Sorry, Ida. I think it was Ida and Tianbo actually who were on that hot drop earlier on, but still, yeah, a really tricky situation. Shouldn't be unfolding here this time around. Nobody dropping straight to North George, maybe just grabbing some vehicles and heading there later. Orangutan sending WizGod very far up north, isolated from the rest of the roster. Potentially, again, just grabbing a vehicle, gonna break out and rejoin in a moment. As we take a look at our top players, though, it's a 3-way tie with Ulf, Nongshim Red Force, and Horror all having their representatives on our highest elimination counts.
Oh!
And it's a milli-circle.
Let's go. I saw some people pop up in the stands after seeing that zone shift. Here we are in military. All right. Aurora are going to be down there. Nongshim Red Force are going to be close to this circle as well. Man, oh man, Erangel doesn't disappoint here. As, yeah, we had to just touch military just one more time, huh?
Hey, we got to do it. We got to do it to them. Aurora already dropping there, obviously, could potentially have some fast rotates there. What we've seen as well from Nongshim Red Force is a lot of times where they've been able to transition very effectively over towards the military island. They've had 2 chicken dinners on 3 of their military island finishes, which is going to hopefully be something that they can repeat. That's what they're looking for here. So a big opportunity for Nongshim, who tends to go for the rotate of 1 player off of the shark fin, rotate down south fairly early on circles like this, try and get a foothold on the north side of the island and work from there. That's what they're going to be looking for. But if we've seen it, the other teams have seen it too.
Yep.
So is anyone going to try and counter that?
Yeah, you know that these teams are prepared to their gills here. They know exactly what these teams are going to do. It's just, how are they going to execute it? That's going to be the question. Speaking of execution, if we look at the leaderboards right now, there are some teams that could still definitely win this whole tournament further down. I'm looking even all the way down to Team Flash.